Welcome everyone to today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion video, where we will be taking a look at Ally of Justice Core Destroyer. What a nice little card in the Justice Squad, as I sometimes like to call them. I barely ever use Ally of Justice because they are definitely anti-light monster, and a lot of decks aren't light monsters, don't use light monsters at all, only have some, making it inconsistent. And even against light decks, well, against light decks they're still pretty good, but they're not really that major. So Ally just generally doesn't work out that well. Now, Core Destroyer is a machine type dark attribute level 3 monster with 1200 attack and 200 defense. So purely looking at its stats, it's decent at best. However, its effect is quite a nice one. If this card attacks or is attacked by a light monster, destroy that monster at the start of the damage step, without damage calculation. So if the opponent has a light monster out, let's say Teller Knight Delteros, attack into it with Core Destroyer, boom. If the opponent has a Cosmo Forerunner, attack into it, boom. Yeah, they will still get their effect from the graveyard to summon a new thing, but you will still be able to take something out. Another light monster that could get in the way, let's think, I don't know, Blue Eyes White Dragon? That's a light monster. Core Destroyer says boom. So in that sense, Core Destroyer is quite a nice card to use. I can't think of any special ways to summon it. It's level 3, so I was thinking Emergency Teleport, but unfortunately that's Psychic only. And also, you don't really... Well, generally with Emergency Teleport, you either like summon your farm goals, so then after the attack, banish and summon something new, or you like use it for a Synchro or an Xyz summon. Core Destroyer, would you have something like Emergency Teleport to summon it with, you'd probably want to use it for a Synchro, because Ally of Justice does have Synchro options. Although, none of them are all that great. Some of them can be pretty darn good, especially if you know you're facing light decks. That's really what I would see Ally of Justice being using it. If you know you're facing a light deck, then use Ally of Justice, otherwise don't try it. The interesting thing about Core Destroyer is it actually looks like a smaller version of Catastor. Now, Catastor barely sees any play anymore right now. Also because like Xyzs are a thing and Pendulum decks are taking over. But when there were quite a few synchros of like every level, like let's say halfway 5Ds, Catastor was in almost every deck. Catastor was a very useful card, which at the start of the damage step if battled a non-dark monster, not just a light, it just had to be not a dark monster, and just destroy it, which was very helpful. Generally now if you use a level 5 monster, you go for Armades. Maybe still a Catastor, but Armades generally has the preference. But it's still pretty cool. I really like using Catastor quite a lot, and this thing is just a smaller one. It has a little less armor. Well, the Catastor has exactly 1,000 more attack and defense as this thing. Now, what decks can Core Destroyer be used against? As I said, if you know you're facing a light deck, you can go use Ally of Justice, because they can become really good. Now, there are quite a lot of decks that are mainly light or completely light. I just clicked one away that I wanted to show. That is stupid. I wanted to show Lightsworn. Lightsworn. Pure light. By the way, can you name all of these things? I can. But, can you name all of these Lightsworns? Another deck that's completely light. PSY-Frames. We have Bujins. And my personal favorite, Constellar. Obviously, there's a lot more. Teller Knight, Watt, the Hunters. There are so many more light attribute decks, but I definitely won't be naming all of them. Now, what do you do if you know you're not going to face a light deck, or you're just not sure what you will face, but you still want to use Ally of Justice and you want to be able to make good use of them? Now, just like with Core Destroyer, almost every Ally of Justice card, like the monsters, need the opponent to either have a light monster or their effect only goes off like against light monsters. They need the opponent's monsters to be light. How do you do that if they're wind? If they're using Magispecters, for example. That's where DNA transplant comes in. A continuous trap card that is able to change the attribute of all monsters on the field. Now, if you're running Ally of Justice, you generally run 3 of this card, DNA Transplant, to make the attribute of all monsters on the field light. Yeah, your Ally of Justice monsters will become light as well, but that's not really a problem. The important thing is that the opponent's monsters will become light monsters, and therefore your effects, like Core Destroyer's destruction effect during battle, will be able to go off. So that way, let's just specifically look at Core Destroyer, but keep the other Ally of Justices in mind. You can get past Mermail Abyss Megalo. You can get past your Cosmo Dark Eclipser. Yeah, sure, it'll still get the extra monster, but you can get past Dark Eclipser. And you can also get past Infernoid Saitsumas. Just as some examples of pretty big cards right now, and pretty big decks that you could get over if you just have a DNA Transplant and an Ally of Justice Core Destroyer. This could, I suppose, Core Destroyer be used as a side deck card if you know a light deck is really good. Cosmo's half light, half dark, so that's kind of eh. But let's say Light Sword suddenly become really big again, or Teller Knight gets some support, or just for whatever reason is like one of the top decks again. Then you could decide to have Core Destroyer in your side deck, maybe like 1 or 2, use it, and then be like, oh no, you have like an Altera on the field, and you have the Trivia, and then no, I can't do anything, Core Destroyer. Yeah, like if they could get off another Trivia, they could just send it back to your hand, but then you could just use it again next turn. So the Core Destroyer could be useful in that as well. Now let's take a look if the tips and trivia pages on the wiki have anything else to add. Can be searched by a bunch of things. Ski guns. List. I'm actually going to look them over if something comes up. Not necessarily. You got X, I guess, if you're running machines and elevators are that. Anyone using light monsters? Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Vylon, Melodious, Artifacts, the Fabled, Photon, Galaxy Agents. Bunch of them that can be used against. After the Inferno Reckless, summon 2 more. You will have to summon it through like Call of the Haunted or something like that. Indeed, I chose to 11, you can put a Warrior to attack, because you have 3. Use this card to destroy Archer Christia without having to special summon a summon monster. Yeah, because Archer Christia does stop special summons, and then generally it can be quite hard to get over, especially if the Archer Christia was tribute summon and you have March of the Monarchs out like I have in my Fairy Star deck. Then this card could be a nice out to that. Trivia. It resembles a smaller version of Ally of Justice Catastrophe. Attack and defense rates 1,000 points lower than that card. Yes. This is the first Ally of Justice to appear in a normal booster in the OCG, and this was the first to be of normal rarity. Yeah, because most of the Ally of Justice cards, to my knowledge, have been released in Hidden Arsenal sets. Just like, I don't know, the Gustos, Flamvilles, your Constellars, Evil Storms, things like that. Ally of Justice has the same. And some cards, especially later on, have been released in regular sets. Or in side sets, whatever, like some reprints. Like there's a reprint coming up in Premium Gold, Infinite Gold, Constellar Ptolemy M7. Well, I'm pretty sure that was only released in Hidden Arsenal 7 before this. Let's see what this thing was released in. Shining Darkness. Oh, it has Worm as well. Worm was in the thingies. The Hidden Arsenal as well. Alright, that was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion video for today for Ally of Justice Core Destroyer. Let me know if you've ever used it in a deck, or now that you've heard about it, plan to use it in a deck, whether as a side deck card, as a main deck card, or in a complete Ally of Justice deck, with which you'll try to take down your opponent's light monsters, or through DNA Transplant, try to take down any of the monsters they have. This was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion video for today. I hope you are looking forward to tomorrow's video. I'll see you then. Bye.